Thank you, Juju 언니. Thank you so much, KACF, for having me here. It's such an honor. Thank you especially to Kyung, who I feel so much chung with everyone in this room. It feels so special to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I started writing Crying in H Mart in December of 2015. It was sometime around the second Christmas without my mother. I was celebrating with my husband Peter's family in Bucks County, a suburb of Philadelphia. And while Peter and his family welcomed me with open arms and extraordinary generosity, I missed my mother, and something compelled me to leave their home and go somewhere, anywhere where I could feel close to her. I drove to a Korean grocery store, an H Mart in Elkins Park. I went there, I think, to be surrounded by my mother's language, her culture, the ingredients and imports that delighted her and reminded her of home, and reminded me of my childhood visits to Seoul. I ordered tozo bibimbap at the counter, and I watched people eat. I watched a mother instruct her son to dip raw onion into his side of jajang paste. I watched an ajashi lean his tukbegi on the side of a pot holder to get to his last bites of jjigae. And I watched a gaggle of exchange students commune over tteokbokki and wangmandu. And through the depths of my loss and my grief, I thought about them, where they came from and what they were searching for, how long it had been since they'd seen their families, who they were missing. And for a moment, I saw outside of my individual pain, and I felt a silent sense of community, of home. The great success of my book has come as a complete surprise. As of today, it's 42nd week on the bestsellers list. It feels like a complete anomaly. Often, and most frequently in Korean media, I am asked point blank and with disbelief, why is this happening? To which I respond, I don't know. As a creative writing major at Bryn Mawr, I took every course in the department except for nonfiction. Because at the time, I could not imagine writing about my life and my family. I wanted to write the rugged, working-class stories I loved, like Raymond Carver and Ernest Hemingway. I wanted my characters to be neutral, defined by their actions, present on the page, without digressions that my mixed-race background seemed to oblige. It did not feel literary to be Korean American. In other words, I could not imagine a world in which I would be accepted as a main character. And yet the success of this book proves that as Korean Americans, we can be American protagonists. And while a call for representation in the media can feel simplistic and even redundant, I do believe that there is something profound and healing in stories that show our community in all its complexity. Multifaceted, flawed, funny, and feeling, showcasing both the things we share and those that set us apart. Selfishly, I wrote Crying in H Mart for me. I wrote about the ravages of illness and grief, of feeling untethered from a culture that always felt, for better or for worse, an inherent part of me. It was a way of exorcising demons, of making sense of trauma, of archiving memory. But when I finished and I realized that anyone could read it, a great fear crept in. What would be the opinion of the Korean American community? Maybe my experiences would not resonate. Maybe they were entirely singular and unfairly generalized to a culture. Did I unknowingly perpetuate a harmful stereotype? Would I be looked down upon for airing my private family struggles and history? Did I have a right to write about a culture to which I only half belonged? So it was of the utmost surprise and my great relief that Korean Americans embraced my story so wholeheartedly. As my family fell apart, I felt my community's embrace and the stories that flooded in, a torrent of resonance and shared experience. When I met with the CEO of H Mart, still fearful they might sue me for using their name in the title, they instead offered their support. They said, "In this moment, we feel that you are everyone's Korean daughter." The Korean American community has come to fill a very large hole in my heart, and I could not be more grateful. I know my 엄마 would be very proud. 감사합니다.